This is the Nightwolf howling at you, and today we're going to take a look at the Masters of the Universe Sketchbook series, the Evil Horde. Figures inspired by the original concept art for Hordak, the ruthless leader of the Horde, and Grizzlor, the hairy henchman of the Evil Horde. And yeah, these guys are pretty freaky looking. Although, to be perfectly honest, I think our original Hordak does, well, I should say the Hordak that we got originally definitely looks better than this one. That being said, let's take a look at the side here where we see Hordak in artwork form, and of course they're using that same stupid blaster hand that I complained about previously in the Hordak cartoon collection review. Here we see a sketch of Grizzlor, looking kind of like a pygmy elephant head with giant tusks. I don't even know how you describe that really. At the top here we kind of get some, I don't know how well that's going to show up, but we do get some just black and white art at the top of them as well. And when we go to the back, we see some artwork with a really messed up looking version of the Fright Zone. Looks like they're fighting the Viking He-Man, and something that looks like if Skeletor and Mossman had a baby. Inspired by the original concept art, Masters of the Universe presents Sketchbook series featuring figures inspired by the original concept drawings of fan favorite characters before they evolved into the final form of Eternia's greatest heroes and villains. So let's go ahead and open this sucker up. How do we open this sucker up? Unfortunately, my dumbass doesn't have any figure stands. Oh, crap. But before we get too far, I would like to point out the artwork here on the back. I like this. This is a nice addition to this. And I would be able to use this as the background for my thumbnail, which is even better. So let's do a quick look at these guys. This is the Hordak. I mean, it is a unique head, but it is kind of boring compared to what we got with our original Hordak. We do have like little spikes on the side of his harness, which is designed to come off if we wanted to. He has a much similar bat symbol on the back of his that Skeletor has on the front of his harnesses, though, in artwork. In fact, the whole Horde symbol looks a bit different this time around, to be honest. Adding more like a Batman logo in some ways. They have him with a arm cannon, which, again, not my favorite design for the arm cannon. I'm trying to figure out if these are attachments or actually the legs sculpt themselves. Because what it looks like to me looking at this is that this may be a separate piece from the rest of this, but it's been glued onto here. And it seems like, oh, actually, come to think of it, the reason why I can't really do anything is I think they glued the boot to the calf, actually. Because I cannot get the spin at all on that. So if you find this in the stores, you might want to make sure that these things are properly positioned on, or the legs are properly positioned, because it looks like this does not come off. And looking down at the bottom, it does kind of appear that this may be a full solid piece in there. Of course, he comes with a separate belt, which I believe came with our Turtles of Grayskull He-Man. Articulation real quick with him. Head's on a ball joint. Feels like he's got a thicker neck. Like, I mean, this should just be a regular figure, but the neck just seems kind of thick to me. What do you guys think? Maybe it's just that the way the head's designed is the head seems to be smaller and thinner. But yeah, he looks like one of those guys who has no neck. You know what I mean? You know exactly the kind of guy I'm talking about. When we go to spin him, his arm, it does plop off. It seems that the harness is causing that because that does go off the side there. We can move his arm out. Oh, for frick's sake. Single joint in the elbow. We've already seen now that his arm pops off if you look at it funny. And of course you can spin the blaster, but I don't know why you would. He does have a standard arm with a wrist and a in and out articulation. It does not appear as if the hands are new. They are just painted differently than what we usually get. And it does appear as if they are molded in black and then the weird yellowish color is painted on top of it. Full spin at the waist. The belt doesn't always move with it, and sometimes does. His legs kick up and back and out. Our standard Origins articulation, right? And of course the knee has the spin there and the fold. As I mentioned before, it appears that the boot is actually glued onto the upper calf, so you cannot remove it or spin it. We have a hinge here and a spin as usual. So that does that for the Hordak figure. Now to take a look at Grizzlor. I was kind of wondering because I was trying to figure out if that little jaw piece would open or not, and it does not on here. His tusks are, it looks like the tusk is a single piece up until here, probably molded in this color, and then this part is painted, and then it's glued onto the side of his head. There's his little trunk thing. I mean, the head sculpt itself actually does look pretty cool. I'm not sure how they went from this to the Grizzlor we got, though. Aside from that, he's basically using Beastman's body. The hands are either a new sculpt or they might... Yeah, actually, I think they're a new sculpt. Maybe this is the one that came with Grizzlor previously. But I know Grizzlor had an open hand for his other hand, so if it did, this is new. But I also feel like the fingertips here, and let me know what you guys think. I think that might actually be new because they're trying to make it look more claw-like. His harness does have a more standard-looking Hordak or Horde symbol on it, painted. And it is definitely designed more like Beastman's harness, actually, when you get right down to it. He still comes with the little armband for the Horde, though this too looks like it may be a slightly different design. I would have to take a look at the other one, but I'm fairly certain this might be new. He's also got this additional thigh armor, which popped off when we took him out of the package. Probably just reuse of the regular boots, but he does come with new feet. His articulation is pretty standard again, although as you can kind of see, we do get some interference there with the harness, but at least it's not popping off the hand like previous ones did. But the, you know, thigh armor keeps on popping off, and I should probably put the head back on. Waist has a swivel. Elbows do the complete 90 and can spin. And actually, now that I think about it, this might be a new forearm sculpt. I'm trying to think. Because Beastman, I think, still had bracers on his hands, but there's no bracers on this hand. So maybe this is new. I'm trying to think if they've used furry forearms before. And actually, even his loincloth is done in the same color as his body, making it look like he might be almost naked in front of us. Sorry, YouTube and Rumble. Again, 360 here. Kick up. Kick back. The thigh armor doesn't really interfere too much with that, although it does want to pop off when you move the legs too far. And of course, we get our standard bend, which once again, we have knocked the leg armor off or out of place. Single joint in the knee. I feel like if I try to force this one, it's going to break. The other side, though, works just fine. His boot cut is not glued into place, so it works just fine. And the arm, God, I have it upside down. This feels more like a display piece, really. Hinge at the foot. Hard to move it, but it does move. And a spin. Our buddy Grizzlor here also comes with Skeletor's Terror Claws, which, when you really look at them, are kind of blunted. But they do fit on him just fine. You know, when we go back to the artwork here, it really doesn't look like he was meant to have the Terror Claws, but I think they might have just given them to him. Because in none of this artwork do we actually see the Terror Claws on him. But it does make me wonder, looking at this art, I'm assuming that this is not the original sketches that they're showing us, but, you know, like a new artist rendition of those original sketches, if you know what I mean. But I would actually like to see pictures of the originals. But overall, not bad figures, and you can go ahead and put these guys in with your Horde troopers just fine. I mean, I would use him as another force captain, and, well, same with Grizzlor 2.0, or would this be Grizzlor 0.5? But again, while I think this is really boring for Hordak, I'm glad they gave us a new design. This guy is pretty terrifying looking. Like, this would have been a great Horde character back in the day. This would have been a really boring Hordak. That's all I gotta say on that. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed watching this video of me talking about the Sketchbook Horde characters. And if you did, please feel free to claw that like button. And if you'd like to subscribe to see more of my nonsense, hey, I would appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Peace and love.